Welcome back, guys. Today we're going to have something a little bit different. Yeah, that's right, no more Det 4K. I mean, after the previous video, I was just sat thinking, like, what if they watch that and then they decide to rip me apart? And no, I don't mean rip me apart as in tear my cheeks open. I mean roasting the shit out of me. You know, just like proper taking the piss out of everything that they possibly could find on me. Like, oh, it sounds like you've got peanut butter stuck in the back of your throat. Oh, I've seen pictures of you. You've got a weird fucking hairline. Oh, you're the shape of a fucking space opera. And honestly, that would rip my life apart. But I'd rather that than a cease and desist. Please don't sound one of them. I am fucking skint. And just like every problem I've ever had, I've run away from it, learned it from childhood. And that brings me on to the next topic. This video is going to be about my childhood. Now, to be honest with you, I can't really remember much from the early years. That's right, my early years were pretty much a blur. Preschool, I was a bit of a fucking loser, to be fair. I didn't really make any friends or anything. I just kind of had acquaintances. Acquaintances, that makes it sound like I'm in the mafia or something, what the fuck. But yeah, preschool, like, I just wanted to play with my toys. I didn't care about anyone else. I just wanted me and my little toy truck. I was kind of like a bumblebee, just doing my thing, like, just fucking leave me alone. You know, and I remember crying because some kid took my little toy truck. And it was a real eye-opener, to be fair. You know, it was like, life is tough, it's a lesson. I mean, obviously I didn't see it that way at the time. I was bawling my eyes out. But that kid ended up becoming a druggie anyway, so life taught him a lesson late on. Fuck it. That's what you get for stealing my toy truck, punk. Infant school was a little bit scary, to be fair, because everyone already had their own friends from preschool, and because I didn't really connect with anyone, I didn't fucking have any friends. I didn't have any toy trucks anymore. So it was at this point that I started, like, actually making an effort with people. It didn't really work, and I didn't make any friends because I was a bit of a weird kid. I had a bowl haircut for starters. But fuck it, I tried. And at infant school, we all had our own little drawers where we'd leave all our pencil cases and paper and stuff. And for some reason, I decided to leave a pear in mine. And this pear was in there for at least a month. And I remember one day the teacher was kicking off because there was a foul smell in the classroom. And she literally turned into like a sniffer dog, and like her nose pointed her right towards the drawers. Now I didn't even know that it was me. I mean, I didn't leave the fucking pear in there on purpose. I just forgot it rolled to the back. This teacher pulled it out in front of the classroom and she gave me the biggest royal fucking of my life. She made me sit there at break time and fucking clean it up with like soap and water. She was a weird teacher. She always wore flip-flops. Her feet were crustier than the Grand Canyon. The swings are roundabout, so she's probably the reason I don't have a foot fetish. But after this royal fucking, that was the moment I became a chat. You know, I gained confidence. I was like, fuck it, I've been told off now. 100% like streak is gone. I'm a bad boy now. You get me? And from that moment on, I became the fucking lad. I was one of the boys, you know what I mean? I was selling cans of Coke. I was pulling all the bitches. It got so bad that the teachers ended up calling me King Ryan VIII. People were actually standing outside of the classroom whilst I cleaned that drawer, waiting for an autograph. You know, I'd walk into classrooms by just kicking the door open. Teachers wouldn't ask why I was late, they'd apologise for starting so early. I'd make my teachers put their hand up to ask if they could go toilet. If I didn't like the look of someone, I had contacts and I'd just get rid of them. I even ended up on TV on a show called Britain's Most Feared Students. Alright, okay, so maybe that's not entirely true. Now can we get some kind of music back? So yeah, I thought that being told off would actually somehow make me appear cooler to the other kids. Spoiler alert, it didn't. There's a girl that I had a crush on, but I didn't have the bollocks to do it myself, so I got a friend to ask her for me. Bearing in mind, the girl that I had a crush on was sat right next to this girl, so I may as well have done it myself. Long story short, the girl weren't interested. And to be fair to the girl who I asked out for, she was actually pretty polite. Yeah, well, the first time I did it anyway. The second time, it was more of a, no, we did this yesterday, fuck off. But hey, I was good at taking the hint, never did it again. And in my final year of that school, I actually did meet a girl, and things were going pretty good. We kind of like had a little bit of flirty banter and that. I mean, we was only about 6 or whatever, so, you know, there's only so much, but like, things were going really good. Until she told me that she was moving away, about 30 miles away. Little bit of a bummer, that one. That school finished and then we went to a junior school. Now, probably noticed I've not really spoke much about my life outside of school. And honestly, the reason for that is because I was boring. I didn't really do much other than play Super Mario. Speaking of boring, junior school were boring as well, but I made a few friends at least. And it's weird, you know that girl that I just mentioned that moved away? I was staying loyal to this girl. No other girl got my interest. Baby, I've been a good boy. Nah, actually I was a bad boy. I used to smuggle my Tamagotchi into lessons. I'd just sit playing it in the back of class. Well, I say playing, you don't ever really play Tamagotchis, you just kind of look after them. And I remember them Tamagotchis, they had like a 7-day lifespan each time. And then it'd be really sad because on the last day they'd just be in bed. Now I'd kind of grown a close attachment to this Tamagotchi. And on the 7th day my brother came into my room and told me that it was on its deathbed. I bawled my eyes out while stroking my Tamagotchi, hoping that it'd make it stronger again. But that was where I kind of learnt that things die. Well, actually, I think my first memory of death was when I was taking a shit one time. My mum was outside the bathroom and she ended up saying, "Ryan, are you taking a shit?" And I was like, "Yeah." Then she said, "Oh, Gran's dog's died." But because she said it so casually, I didn't really think it was like a bad thing. It was like, oh, okay, just a normal thing. One of my best friends has died, it's just a normal day. I ended up playing Tetris while it was all sinking in. And then when I learnt about death, I went really weird. I had this big A4 book and I just kept drawing pictures of my brother dying, like stick figure drawings. And because I didn't really think death was such a big deal, I thought it was all just a joke. But my brother started getting a little bit worried. I must have done about 50 drawings. My teachers told me in lessons that if I didn't pay attention, I'd be stacking shelves for a living. Well, I proved them motherfuckers wrong. I ended up working for a biscuit warehouse. Yeah, brilliant. Can we stop showing these? Right, let's go back to childhood. 4 years passed because that was a bit of a boring school, to be fair. Now I'm at high school and I need to start being a man. I made a couple more friends and these will be the ones that'd stick around. Well, most of them anyway. One of them I didn't hear a word from after we finished school, like just nothing, MIA. He turned into like Casper the Ginger Ghost. I don't really have many fond memories of this school. This was kind of where I had to start learning to not be a bitch. So I got myself a bike and I started venturing out there. One time I was biking home about 5 miles away and I was riding down the road and for some reason I decided to be cocky and try and go for a really small gap between a hedge and a car on this pavement. Brand new Mercedes, my handlebars hit the hedge, twist the wheel, I fall straight head first into the floor, scuff all down the side of the Mercedes. Alexa, play Life Goes On. So anyway, I get myself back on my feet, and then after seeing the damage that I've done to the car, I tried doing a runner. Because I twisted the wheel, I wasn't really getting far, so I kind of was trying to run I just kind of looked like a penguin waddling. And then I heard some woman's voice say, "Excuse me." I knew it was the owner of the car, so I just kind of accepted defeat. Luckily, she was a really nice woman, and she actually ended up giving me like a coffee with sugar to calm the nerves, because I'd grazed all my knee up. She didn't even kick my head in, so that's a bonus. In high school, I won a Guitar Hero competition. Then my form tutor made me play it again in front of class on registration, When We Were Young by The Killers on expert mode. And I thought I was kind of cool, although it was a little bit cringe, until I hear some girl say, "How sad." Yeah, well, I'll tell you what's sad. The fact that you have to have nimble fingers to play the guitar like that, and you're never going to experience some bitch. One of my proudest cooking lessons at school was you make your own creative sandwich. Slapped a bit of ham, bit of apple, ham and apple sandwich. Perfecto. On the final day of that school, I was playing football with a few friends. The goals were in front of a brick wall as well. My mate said to me, "Go and goal, I want to take a penalty shot." He fucking rifles a Cloverfield at my face about 500 miles per hour. Hits my head hits back, hits the wall. Mate, I've never experienced anything like it. I actually think he gave me brain damage. As a kid, I kind of grew up with trust issues. Don't know if it was because my father left or... Nah. My mum used to run my baths for me. But when I'd get in it, it'd feel like sulfuric acid. So after putting both my feet in, I'd slowly squat down and just dunk my balls in very slowly because it was so hot. Just no need for it, really. Finished high school and then I go to my final years of school. There was this girl that really used to fancy me, but she just wasn't my type. But I'd get at least one of her friends come up to me once a day. It got to the point where I said fuck it and just started dating her just to shut her up. We had a first kiss about 3 days later. It was like making out with a powdered donut. She had that much foundation on. 4 days later, I dumped her. In my final years of school, I just became one big ball of testosterone. I knew I was growing up because I no longer looked at boobs the same way I used to. I was now more attracted to arses. And no, I don't mean I was turning gay. Arses are just nice to look at though, aren't it? So in PE, every 3 months I'd get everyone to go into the sports hall to pick the next topic. Except I was away for one of these periods, so someone, as a joke, decided to pick trampolining for me. And this started a slippery scope of skiving. I just started bunking off lessons for the sake of it. And it all started because I was too embarrassed to do trampolining. I had some coursework that was nearly a year overdue, and the teacher said to me if I didn't take it in that week, she was going to fail me on English. So I left it until the last day of the deadline, and then I took it in. And the next day she comes up to me in front of everyone and says this is one of the worst things I've ever read. Never felt so embarrassed in my life. She looked like Squidward with a wig. Horrible woman, honestly. But that's going to conclude my first part of this childhood thing. I might do another one, I don't know. I'm sure there's a lot of things I've missed out. But if you've made it this far, then thanks for watching. Take it easy. See you later.